minutes until after I was already dancing. And strangely enough, when we had the conversation about whether or not maybe I should move to the keyboards and we should get different dancers, both of us agreed that we thought it would be taking a step back from where we were, and not necessarily that I don't obviously respect and admire and that our keyboardist is fundamental and integral to how this band works, because Jen is amazing. Particularly Jen is amazing. But I felt like there is such a spotlight, literally, there is such a spotlight on the dancing, and I'm so much in the front of the stage, literally, that to step back, literally behind the keyboard, would be too confining for me. And I wouldn't be able to really fulfill that desire to entertain.
I've actually had that issue too before, where I don't actually play any. I did play the handbells.
I used to play that too.
Yeah, and the standing chimes. But other than that, I've never been classically trained in any instrument, and I'm not classically trained in music. I can read some. But I do feel confined. I actually feel confined by belly dance sometimes, because it's not a very, I mean, to an extent it's not stationary, but to an extent it is. And so when I see you guys up there, that's kind of a fulfillment of my inner dancer too, is to see you moving so much and being such a piece of the...
Well, and that's one of the reasons that most of the choreographies I have areas where it's freestyle, and that's because I really feel like if I were to choreograph every beat of every song, it would be confining. I feel too caged, and I wouldn't feel like my other dancers are really living up to their potential, or that I was living up to mine, because there are certain things, it comes out, your personality comes out better when you're not having to be confined by that choreography. And while there are plenty of pieces that I love, and dancers move in incredibly different ways to the same choreography, and to a certain extent you can say, yeah, they show their personality. I feel like the freedom of non-choreography gives that much, much more importance, and that's important to me.
For me, it's the difference between moving to the music and letting the music move you.
Exactly.
I love the improv because the music takes me over.
Right.
And that was actually a whole new world for me this last year, doing belly dances. For 20 years, it was like, here's what you're doing to every beat of every music. Here's your character, here's your story, da 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 da. And then of course, I'd go to the club and I'm like, yay, I'm so excited. And then I would go to the belly dance, and occasionally they'd say, okay, well, you're doing a solo, so just go out there and make something up. And for some reason, initially, it was so hard for me. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Or I'd have like 5 moves that I would do. I'd do the same thing over and over again and get really scared. I've always liked that about the Cruxshadows dancers, is you really are having so much fun, and you love what you do so much that there's no fear, there's just dancing, which is awesome. One of the last things I want to say, anytime I interview someone who's in a band, first I make a joke about the fact that you're a traveling nomad, because you pretty much are, in my opinion. You live, well, when you're touring, you live on the road, which in the area that I live, and in the subculture and genre things I do, I'm constantly being bombarded by people saying, I'm going to start a band, I want to be in a band, I'm going to start a band, and I'm going to get signed by, insert large mainstream record label here, and they have no idea what they're doing, they have no money, and it's possible they could be Jimi Hendrix's reincarnated soul, and that's how talented they are, or whatever, but they just don't, a lot of people don't understand how much work being in a band is. And one thing I think about, what I respect so much about you all too, is you take that to a completely other level. Like after the show, a lot of people want to come up and say hi and be like, oh, it's the greatest show ever, like immediately. And I always try to wait, because I can't imagine what it would be like. I don't have that kind of stick right now to go up there for hours at a time and dance until show is over, and then go off the stage and come back and dance again. So can you maybe shed a little light, or is there anything about what you do that you would like to share with, not necessarily to dissuade people from starting it, being in a band, because I think that if they really, really want it, they'll go after it, but I do see often people falling into this hole where they have no money and they have no home, and they're like, oh, I'm going to start a band, and they jump right into it and think that it's easy and there's lots of money and babes and
well, I'm sure for some people in a band that there is lots of money and babes, but I guess Rogue and our approach to things is a little bit different, and the point is that anything worth doing, the things that have the greatest returns also require the greatest sacrifices. It's a matter of ratios. You get what you pay for, really. And if for us, the importance isn't so much the money. Sure, would it be great if we were millionaires right now? Well, yeah, that would be awesome. But that doesn't detract from the fact that, we kind of are. If you measure, success and devotion and loyalty and love, and that's what we get from our fans. And you can't ask for more than that, and every time you make an impact in somebody's life, every time you can change someone's perspective and make their life even a little bit better, whatever that may mean to them, then you're getting paid. You see what I'm saying? And it's exactly that, it's not free. People don't just give respect. People don't just give their love. People don't just give themselves. That's not how it works. You have to earn that, and whatever that means. And for us, if that means going to the gym every day and having hours of dance practice, and then coming back and having hours of band practice, and then staying up all night and sewing costumes, because that's how it works and that's what we can afford to do, then that's what we do. It's just the way life works.